What the fuck?
Wow. Yeah, we're goddamn good at it.
Luckily, we all have a problem with authority.
I really dig Colts.
I agree to disagree. Those Nikes were fucking sick.
That's a lot of quarters.
They were the original Squarespace.
I was about to do that.
Can you do it better? Because Thomas didn't do a good job.
Get bangs in the front and the back.
Like, I want my baby pancake.
Like Mary got preggo in a spaceship or something.
You are now listening to True Crime and Cheap Wine.
Okay.
Man.
So that was fun.
Oh.
What the
Is
hell?
it leaking?
What did...
Yikes.
Does the cup have a hole? No?
No, it was coming from the bottom.
Oh.
A little dribble.
Goofy.
I must have just poured it weird. Great.
Hey, it didn't get down to anything important.
You know, this is not the second or third time, or probably even fourth time that wine has been spilled on this table, so that's fine.
I broke the glass on here. I still feel really bad about, like I do when I spilled the wine on your couch as well.
I forgot about the glass.
Fuck off, everyone will.
Oh, you weren't here the day that, yeah. So we got a box of wine, and we were just drinking it.
It was a box.
It was a box.
I don't remember.
Yeah. And we're sitting on the couch. It was white wine, thankfully, but Annie's hand just, like, stopped working.
Literally, I threw it at myself.
I did that. You guys remember when you guys came over to watch Alice in Wonderland?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was holding a glass of water that my hand just forgot. Like it was.
Oh yeah,
Just
I
dropped
remember
it.
that, yeah.
It's so weird when stuff like that happens.
I
Jeez, I spilled a lot of this.
No.
It wasn't that bad.
No.
Most of it
I
landed in the
thought the
cup.
cup had a leak.
No. I just can't pour, I guess. What the hell?
Okay.
I've learned at work, like, to tilt the
That's
cup.
what I was doing, and I thought maybe because I was tilting the bottle a certain way. I'm just gonna be done.
Just, yeah, quick.
I have plenty. I'm good.
I have plenty. Oh, I like how the bottle's green.
Right? It's cool.
I guess with the wine it looked black, brownish.
Yeah,
but
it's like a frosty green.
it's really funny.
Frosted.
Yeah, because the glass is frosted, you know.
Yeah,
I have wine all over my
glass.
hands. Jesus.
Take a moment to wash your hands.
I might need to, because just, Jesus. It's everywhere.
That was so funny.
The fact that it happened twice,
Put that right over there. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, it smells good. It smells like wine.
Keep the paper towels at the table.
Just pass over.
Cheers, y'all. Alright, shoot
Should that
it.
be our intro?
Plastic clink. Super.
Sounds like a band name, kind of.
Plastic. One of my favorite songs is by Less Than Jake. And it's called Plastic Cup Politics.
Never heard that song.
Me neither.
It's a good one.
Okay.
I saw them at Web Tour and I was like, who the fuck are they? And then
And now you know.
now I know who they are.
That's awesome. This is good. I like this.
Yeah, me too.
Excuse me, sir.
My the bottles have to be less than $10. That's my rule.
Yeah, that
This
applies.
is
It's
pretty
cheap.
fair.
Yeah. I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like $7. I think 10 is kind of expensive.
Yeah, this one was $9, and I was
Honestly,
almost
feel
like
the cheaper. Like I'm more like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I want to try like $1 bottle. of
Yeah.
wine.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
my original goal when I went, I was like, I'm going to find the cheapest bottle that I can, and then I found that, and it was $9,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's cool.
I was about to
So,
say, but come on, look
Have
at
you,
Yeah,
have
I
you
had-
heard of the Trader Joe's $2 wine?
I have.
Okay, yeah.
the what is it? $2
buck chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should
Bull.
Yeah, we should try that, definitely. Okay, well, I guess we should talk about what we're drinking since we've already been talking about it. So I found this really cool bottle, and it's got this guy's like mugshot on it, and it's called 19 Crimes. And on the back it says 19 crimes turn criminals into colonists. Upon wow, I can't read. Okay, upon
She's drunk.
I've had 2 sips of
We got him.
it all absorbed through my skin, and now I'm just Jesus. Okay. Upon conviction, British rogues guilty of at least one of the 19 crimes were sentenced to live in Australia rather than death. The punishment by transportation began in 1788, and many of the lawless died at sea. For the rough-hewn prisoners who made it to shore, a new world awaited. As prisoners in a frontier penal colony, they forged a new country and new lives brick by brick. This wine celebrates the rules they broke and the culture they built.
Were they saying that Australia is like as bad as a life? Like it
I wish if I killed someone, I'd go to Australia to live.
You know, honestly though, like Australia's pretty scary. There's a lot of scary animals there.
A lot of giant bugs.
Big spiders,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is imported from Australia, so that makes sense.
Oh my god! Love Australia.
Did the
hey,
criminals...
Australia listeners, thank you so much.
Did the criminals make it?
Yes.
Some of
With their bare feet.
Yes,
what?
this is criminal. In 2016 is when this was made, so they're still just hanging out there from 1788. It's their
Cool.
ghosts now.
That makes sense.
Such
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah. So I guess this guy was one of the criminals. It doesn't say what he did though. I wish it said what he did.
We have to get the app for him to tell us.
Oh, was that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll look.
Okay. Yeah.
Might as well. We're already here.
Does it say anything about that? I wish it did.
I just saw that on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
I assume it's correct.
How much alcohol per volume does wine usually have?
I'm trying to think of like
I'm gonna guess 19.
Sutter Home or whatever.
Okay.
I'm
This
gonna
is
guess
13.5. Is that a lot?
I feel like that's high.
I feel like it is too.
Can I drive after that? I got like a 20-minute drive home.
Let me see if I have an old...
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
19 crimes.
I'm gonna guess 12%. That's like
I think that's
thinking around the 10 range.
Live living wine labels get.
Oh.
I've gotten installed. Oh fuck! I love that noise.
What?
When you install an app and the iPhone goes.
It's like, got it.
To use
Got it,
Touch
Captain.
ID for purchases. Oh fuck! Wait, did I actually buy something?
Oh.
Doesn't it? If it's Get, isn't it free?
Get, I think, is like, it has there's purchases that you can get inside of the app.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Got it. I was like, I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, I
don't
think they
have
got in
money
trouble
to pay.
because, like, a lot of...
The Moscato was 9, so this one's...
That okay. I'm glad we have Samoas.
Me too.
Well, what's left? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I definitely
I mean,
destroyed
I've had 2. It's good enough.
Okay, well, I guess I should eat one before you guys just eat them all. I'm so
I'm
surprised.
not going to touch any more of them.
Oh my
so you
god,
guys
we
go
need
ahead.
more Girl Scouts stat. Excuse us, ladies. Girl Scouts, can you please serve?
Mm-hmm.
You think if you called 911 and you're like, give me the Girl Scouts?
Maybe.
I need a Girl Scout right now!
They might be here for us.
It's an emergency.
Let's just go to Lowe's real quick. I'm sure they're outside still. It's only 9:30.
Yeah, it's not too late at all.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
But they're like 13.
You know, they'd probably make more money, honestly, if they waited outside, like,
Yeah.
a bar.
Or like a Jack in the
24
Box.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Whataburger, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely somewhere in not where we live.
Somewhere, definitely Alabama. That's where we live.
Alabama.
In the whole state, not a specific place at all. Just the whole state. You want me to cry?
What? Yeah, sure.
Because I have Wi-Fi?
You do. It says
So this is
Get.
an app that's connected to the, like,
Yeah,
wine
it's
stuff?
19 dot crimes,
Whoa.
I think.
So,
Can
can you download another wine?
Maybe. No. Not at all. We can favor another one. No, we actually can't. I think you can Uber Eats alcohol.
That's...
You
that's
can't.
cool.
You can't?
Nope.
Yeah, I feel like that would
There's
be a...
one that you can.
Might be Postmates.
Maybe.
It's not Uber Eats though, because I've
We've done it in
or maybe-
Austin before.
Shit, I don't know. I've signed up for Uber Eats and Postmates, and yeah, one of them you can't.
Favor might. I signed up for Favor the other day.
I bet it's probably Favor because
What's
they give you
Favor?
like whatever you want.
Is Favor like the new Postmates?
It's like the same as all of them. I've heard of Favor just as long as I've heard of Postmates, so I'm
I don't
not
think
sure
I've
if
ever
it's
heard
new
of
or
it.
not. But they caught me. I was on Indeed.com. Shout out. Not spons.
Sponsor us, please. We need jobs. I'm just kidding.
But I applied because I saw Favor was like $25 an hour. And I
Yeah,
was like,
which is like
That'd be cool, but you can... yeah, it is a little
living wine
unrealistic,
labels. Okay, I got it.
oh yay! Okay, I'm gonna delete it then before they.
19 bad crimes. Wait, charge you?
No, I'm joking.
I was like, I thought it was free. My year of birth. Oh, because they're making sure I'm 21. 19.
I'm actually
Step 1. Fill the screen.
I'm 12.
Okay, alright. Thomas, come over here so you can watch this.
Oh my god, step 3.
Okay.
They have a video?
Okay. Alright. Fill the screen. I'm feeling it.
Whoa.
Nothing's happening.
Shit just got so real. He's a little off-centered. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Whoa.
god.
Spared the hangman's noose. Banished to Australia. I found true love in the most unlikely of places.
Whoa.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess
I
so.
was banished to Australia
Banished.
for crimes against the crown. They believed my story was over, but it was merely the beginning.
Oh, he says different
just
things.
wanna-
This is so cool.
Yeah. I
See if he has
Mitch
anything
just
else to say. Hello?
It's like a video game.
Come back.
Oh my god,
He's
he
gone.
said
you imagine-
all he needs
The
to...
spirit of a rogue sustains when the bars of man impede. For no cage can hold that which is boundless. No man stop that which is fated to be.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
Convicted of crime.
Okay,
Oh,
it starts
great
over.
reading.
Oh,
That was
sick,
crazy.
dude.
that was pretty cool.
That's
Can you
the
imagine
future.
getting apparently really turned off this bottle of wine and then having this guy talk to you? Like, I could just, just talk to him all night.
Take
probably.
some acid too, you'd be like,
No.
where you been all my life?
Oh my god! Tell me more.
Yeah, that was pretty
Strange
cool.
man in the bottle.
I feel like he deserves this pedestal on top of
I
him.
agree.
for real.
I agree, for sure.
I mean, he might have murdered somebody or whatever, that's fine.
Actually, you're right. Sir, please step down from the pedestal.
You know who else murdered somebody?
A lot of somebodies.
Who?
The guy that we're talking about today.
Well,
I kind of want to, explain what we just saw, though.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
So, Kelsey just straight up held her phone up to the bottle of wine, and then the picture started talking to us.
But
Which is
that
what
was-
you just heard.
I mean,
That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was
blew
really
my
cool.
mind.
So you download the app called 19 Crimes, and then you hold the label up to your phone, and the guy on the label starts talking to you.
yeah.
It's
That
pretty
was
Like
sick.
in
It's pretty sick.
2018,
Yeah, this is nuts.
wine bottles.
Future.
Speaking of future, Heaven's Gate.
Yes. Oh, by the way, this is a podcast called True Crime and Cheap Wine. My name is Kelsey,
I'm Thomas.
I'm Annie.
and yeah, today we're talking about Heaven's Gate.
Okay, dude. This is kind of weird. I've been really into cults lately. They're Dids and Moose. Cults have been, super interesting. I kind of want to... I would join one, but without all the stuff.
I think that's kind of part of the deal.
Unfortunately. I said earlier, if I were to join a cult, this would have been the one. Not only do you have to wear sick-ass Nikes, but, you don't have to be a human.
That's true.
You lose all human... I think that would be best for me.
That's kind of like their whole thing, was
Yeah.
to, detach from being human, right?
Yeah. I think that's kind of cool.
I don't know.
Yeah, this one is definitely my least favorite of what I would join.
Whenever I was...
don't think I would have committed suicide.
Okay, well, whenever I was looking this up, I was like, these people are fucking crazy, and now you're like, I would do it.
I agree.
They have
There's-
a pretty thought process on the work, except for being extraterrestrials,
Honestly, I feel like that's the only thing that it has going for it. In
Yeah.
my opinion, I would do it to be an alien, but all the other stuff, hell no. I'm not with it.
Alright, whatever.
No
All
offense,
right.
I'm not trying to.
So, just a little bit of background on the cult here that we're talking about. This is from Wikipedia, so obviously I'm really good at researching. I learned that in school, so here we go.
Use Wikipedia, kids.
Yeah, it's kind of accurate sometimes.
Donate. I don't. So donate for.
Yes, so other people need to donate to Wikipedia so that we can keep using it.
Pay for us.
Yeah. So this is an American UFO religious cult, which sounds just so great, I think. It was founded in San Diego, California in 1974 by Marshall Applewhite and Bonnie Nettles.
So Marshall was a music teacher, from what I understand, which is kind of cool because it kind of you can see where they got their nicknames. The Doe and T.
Ah, I didn't know that. Yeah,
Doe and Peep, Bo and Peep.
Yeah.
Bo and Peep. Yes,
I think that's adorable, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I read
That's
that and I was like,
pretty
oh my god.
Cute. That's so cute.
Let's go kill people.
Why not?
And then Bonnie was a nurse,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because usually they want to save people.
She was a nurse at a psych ward.
Oh,
And
okay.
Bonnie and
Thought she
Marshall.
did save someone.
Yeah, Bonnie and Marshall met when Bonnie was a nurse and Marshall Applewhite was a patient.
Makes a lot of
Because,
sense.
Right? It does, right? I just feel like, not to say that every single person in a mental institution is like completely batshit crazy, but nobody in a mental institution is like in their right state of mind, right?
Most
Well,
of the
yeah, I
time.
mean, that's usually
yeah.
why they...
I mean, even if you're just like super depressed, like you're not
That's not
thinking the way that
Yeah.
you should, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if you meet somebody in a position like that and they're like, hey, listen to me. I have this really cool like thing that
it's
you
like-
need to be a part of.
It's like meeting two like alcoholics at an Alcoholic Anonymous. You know, it's like,
Exactly.
hey, dude, check out this drink I'm working on. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, like if you meet somebody in a psych ward and they're talking to you about aliens and how you like need to leave your body behind, maybe.
I just like how the
Don't-
nurse is like, yep.
I know, and it's not another like
She's
patient.
like, I've thought about this for years. I agree
Yeah,
completely.
they actually she was had very similar ideas. In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is just
Such a beautiful
Very
love story.
interesting.
If Marshall Applegate wasn't
terrible.
gay.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, he actually got, I believe, let go from the University of St. Thomas in Houston, Texas, over an alleged homosexual relationship with one of his students. So, I mean, he was gay. And that's why him and Bonnie were not lovers.
Oh,
They
okay.
were just,
Best friends.
yeah.
That explains the rules in a sense that they have,
Yeah.
which we'll get into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, then they ended up like leaving for Texas to like find their inner purpose and all that. And they after like 6 months they kind of like squished Christianity and sci-fi
Yeah.
stuff together.
And
Which
honestly, what better place to figure that out than in Texas?
well, they're in the Bible Belt, and we have the big old open stars. So
Yeah.
You're pretty close
space
to
and Jesus.
close to New Mexico, so you can go hit up Roswell. Or
That's
Yeah.
true.
kinda,
Yeah.
You know,
We should do a podcast.
we should.
Anyway.
have you been to Roswell?
No, I would love
Pretty,
to.
it's pretty
What
cool.
is
Yeah.
Roswell? Not to sound uneducated.
Boy, you want to have
It's
to Wikipedia
Roswell,
it.
New Mexico. It's like known for aliens. pretty
Oh,
much.
duh. Okay, no, I've definitely heard of
They
it.
have a McDonald's there that's in the shape of a
Oh
UFO.
my god, don't
That's
spoil
amazing.
it. I haven't
Pretty
been
cool.
there.
Okay, well, sorry. It's pretty cool.
I wonder what
There's
the
an
playground
alien,
is
alien
like,
museum.
dude. Okay,
It's pretty fun.
I'm in. Is it just
We
like
should
wax
go
figures
on
of
a
aliens?
tour.
I wanna-
Of Roswell. We should do that.
I'm down. I haven't been to New
bet you
Mexico
they
in a
have
while.
Airbnb.
But
Check out our Roswell
I'm sure
vlog.
we do.
We'll
yeah, we'll
Oh
post
my
that
god.
up
Ew, yeah.
eventually.
Okay. Anyways,
Let's see here. Let's see. So they were trying to fulfill biblical prophecies, and they believed that they were smarter than everybody else because
Naturally, I mean,
Obviously
well,
they
they
were.
I mean, look at them.
exactly.
Look at their haircuts.
Yeah.
So I feel like the biggest push that they had was you could get to heaven without death. You
Yes.
could keep your vehicle, which is your body, which is kind of a cool. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I started At one point, I started kind of like I felt like I was connecting with them a little bit. I was like,
boy.
no, get out of there, get out of that place.
It's a fantastic idea or like way to think about your like life. I think your body is a vessel.
It's the aliens that throw it off for me. I gotta be
What
honest.
pumps me the fuck up?
Yeah, I was about to
Alright.
say the aliens. I thought were cool. It's just like how I don't know. Just the way that they talked about it was just like, whoa, dude.
It's
You
still
know.
out there, yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be one of us to get
Yeah,
it. I'm just
okay,
kidding.
yeah.
Anyways, so yes, they go to Texas. They try to, or they find people that are like-minded.
Yeah, they started doing like these like speeches,
Yeah.
and like apparently they were quoted like hundreds of people would show up,
Yeah.
and they actually found one of the like first attendees there in 1975, and this guy's actually still alive, I believe.
Oh.
He was one of the few that did not attend them in the final end.
Wow.
But yeah, I guess what really turned off a lot of people though was once the media kind of caught hold,
Yeah.
because you know,
Fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
A lot of they were advertising UFOs and everything. That's
Yeah, I feel like as soon as UFOs get involved, it's like, oh, okay, you guys are fucking nuts.
which don't I want to believe, right? But like I don't think aliens really want anything to do with
Well,
it.
I feel like there's a difference between being like, I definitely believe like there's some sort of life out there, like that's definitely possible. I totally believe in that. That's
Somebody's
different.
gonna take us to heaven.
Yeah, that's different than being like, listen, okay, there's a comet coming and there's a UFO following the comet and we have to like empty our vessels so that we can get
This
on the
guy's
UFO.
followed it,
like,
dude. We gotta get on his
Yeah,
ship.
exactly. Like there's a
But think about it. This started from someone's mind that wasn't a mental institution.
exactly.
So
Maybe
there's
people-
things that
For me, it's like, how do
you
you
just said makes sense to me, but I'm like, okay, like that obviously came from someone. Like, if you really thought kind of crazily a little bit.
Well, I know that. I mean, your brain can make you believe anything if
Yeah.
it's like off
Yeah.
enough, So like, I'm sure that all these people completely believed that. Like, I
Yeah.
don't doubt that for a second.
And
But
there's, the whole. I'm sure there was like gaslighting.
yeah,
going on,
for sure.
Yeah, I think it had like a tail or something, like some kind of pretty thing, and it only came around like every 2,000 years or.
Yeah.
I read this. The guy that like discovered the comet said something like, "I know that there's going to be suicides after this because people just have some sort of like spiritual connection with that."
Do you think there was
So people see
suicides
that
around
stuff and-
like the like Mayan calendar and like your 2000?
I'm sure
stuff?
there were.
Maybe.
Huh. I wonder what it is. Like people just.
Maybe we should look and see if there's like heightened. It's just I don't know. Maybe it would make sense.
I'm sure there are
Yeah.
because people think the world's going to end. So
Just
they're
get too like overwhelmed. It's like
I mean, I was a firm believer that the year I graduated, that we were going to die, 2012. And then that movie 2012 came out, and they made it so believable.
I'm pretty sure I had like just gotten my first girlfriend. I was like, please don't end, please don't end. Like,
Yeah, I had just graduated high school. No, I was about to graduate.
I was about to start my senior year, and I was like, if I die and all I've done is go to school, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Man.
didn't even get to see hoverboards.
2 years later, we have what are those things with the scoot
Oh my
boards?
gosh, not
Those
even a
hoverboards?
hoverboard.
Don't cover.
No, they don't.
They
Yeah.
roll around on the ground. Let's not.
Fucking false advertising, fake news.
I agree 100%.
You know
Wholeheartedly.
it. Anyways,
So, anyways, yeah.
But people were describing it as like a modern Christianity, like almost like it had like a lot of the similarities to it, except for like the whole like Mary got preggo in a spaceship or something. Like there was little twists, you know.
yeah. I was listening to the last podcast on the left's version of this morning, and they were saying that this cult is more believable than Mary getting impregnated by whatever the fuck. But
At least we have like a.
I mean, I have to agree. Like,
Yeah. Because at least this is like. Yeah, there's a lot of unanswerable questions, but it's all
there's so
aliens, so it's like all unanswerable.
Yes,
Instead of
yeah.
being like, this one thing that is actually impossible happened. And I know that's supposed to be like the miracle of it, but like, aliens makes more sense.
yeah, because like it would be so selfish of us to think that aliens aren't real. Like
I agree.
as Earthlings.
Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I definitely think that there are aliens.
Yeah.
You know, I just like I said, I don't think they want anything to do with us. I don't think they're like.
Me, like, bro, take me to you.
Especially if they're like way advanced, they're probably looking at us like those idiots.
Yeah,
They're talking to that microphone. Why?
they still use fire. Well, they got more people, like, and they started kind of going more underground to escape, like, that whole media-esque feel. And they got their one dude named Sawyer. I guess they were giving people, like, different names to, like, kind of separate them from the real world. And being really, like, sketchy around, like, police and other family members and all that. They didn't want any contact.
Right.
Which is kind of sad. Like, imagine if you're your parents, you were just like, well, I'm going to go join this group and
Yeah.
never see you guys again.
Well, I would imagine, one thing I did find interesting was, after they did all commit suicide, the ages of the people ranged from 26 to 72, which is, like, kind of crazy. In my mind, I was either picturing, like, really young people or really old people, because...
Do you think the 72-year-old was the main guy, though? Like, was it so old because of Marshall Applegate?
Oh, I
That would
didn't
make
think
sense.
about that. Maybe.
I'm almost positive that was a point that was brought up in another podcast I listened to.
Okay, that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know before him.
Yeah,
Where the
that's a good
age is.
point.
And to be fair, like, the whole suicide thing was never really part of the original plan, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Which I
So-
found, you can go to their website still,
Yeah.
and it looks like it's straight out of 1997.
oh, I didn't know.
Love it.
I know, I
amazing.
kind of like the retro
Aesthetic
feel.
goals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
It reminds me of, like, Tron almost. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's pretty great, but they talk about how they're against suicide, which I was like,
Got 'em.
that's so weird.
Yeah. But because of the comet, they didn't think it was suicide.
Yeah, they
Touché.
thought suicide was like, if you're presented with the opportunity to get to the next level and you don't take it, that's what they considered suicide.
Yes.
So you'd be committing suicide by... Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Whoa. So...
You would kill yourself by not killing yourself and staying on Earth.
Twisted.
Damn.
Right?
That's where I'd be like,
That almost
"Bye."
gets into my mind a little bit.
Exactly. Exactly. It's super weird.
But there are people that... There's, like, 3 people that didn't go. Mm-hmm. And there was one of... I was watching these interviews of them, and one of the guys was like, man, I missed out. What was I doing? Like, why didn't I go with them? And all this
Yeah.
stuff. And it's like...
It's fucking crazy. This was a cult that got people together and was trying to get their souls, I guess, onto the next level, so to say. And in order to do that, they had to shed all attachment to, like, their earthly bodies. So no family, like, they changed their names, they got rid of all their possessions, and they started to live together, and everything when they lived together had to be communal. So, like, they shared everything, nobody had their own possessions or anything like
Everything
that.
was the same. Haircuts were the same. Mm-hmm. All of it was the same.
They
It
were
was,
the
it was
same
really
clothes.
all to
Yeah.
fight human urges. Like, they didn't allow, like, any, you know...
No sex.
Nothing. Like,
Yeah.
nothing that would make you a human being. They lived... There was 15 of them that lived in a house at one point, and they would have, like, some that would never go outside, so the neighbors didn't think it was weird. They would have, like, a select few that were, like, the family, right? And it was just...
That's so weird. Ooh, I didn't know that.
That's so cool.
It's weird. I don't know.
What the
Wow.
fuck?
Wow. I don't know what, like, I guess the ultimate goal was to just get to the next level, like, I guess.
Well, at first, I feel like it was like they were really trying to like spread like that positivity and like if we stay together and happy, we can move on to this like upper thing right
Yeah.
together. But then it was really like after the death of T, it seems the nurse Bonnie. She once she died and like her body didn't go because like again they were like you can get to heaven without dying and they were like. Yo, why is she still right there? You know,
She died of cancer.
yeah. And then that's when they really started kicking off like the you can leave your vessel and you can come back for the body if you want it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
I feel like they should have talked about that before. Like, to me, leaving your vessel would be to leave the body. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
They had a couple ways that you could get to the next level. Okay. I wrote down UFO version of the rapture, so I guess
Yes.
that's, yeah, it just means
That, yeah.
it's pretty accurate.
the
though.
UFO comes and takes you up instead of, like, God coming to do that. And then another way to get to the next level was to die of natural causes. You could die of violent death or if somebody just
Like murder.
persecutes you or kills you or whatever. And then I have willful exit from the body in a dignified manner, which I
So the
guess would
comment.
be committing suicide, like, obviously, but that's how they thought of it. So they had some rules because every organization has to have rules to keep it going. Everybody had to be at least 18, which I'm like, okay, good for you guys. That's a
Yeah,
good rule
at
to
least they
have,
keep it
I think.
mature.
Give up their possessions, everything is communal. This I thought was really weird. So in public, if they ever go out in public, they're only allowed to carry a $5 bill and a roll of quarters.
In case you get mugged.
Yeah, I guess so.
We have enough to pay for at least 3 of us.
Yeah, it's just like such a weird amount
That
of
is
money.
really weird. I didn't know that.
What if you need 1 quarter? You gotta like break open a whole roll too. Like that's super
Oh
annoying.
man, imagine carrying that. They probably make so much noise.
I know. That's a lot of quarters. Like
Yikes.
$10 in quarters. Why do
I
you
think-
need that?
Who knows?
That's too many quarters. I just thought that was so weird. Oh, and the cult made money doing website development. So they,
As in, like, designing people's websites?
I guess so.
Were
I
they,
mean,
like,
theirs
theirs?
was so great, so I guess they just figured.
In 97?
Yeah, that's true.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Well, they're
Yeah,
probably
they
one of,
were
like, the
very
20 people that knew how to do it. So.
Exactly. Apparently they were doing pretty good though, because in California they had a 9,200 square foot mansion, and it was $7,000 a month, and they paid for it in cash.
This is why I see why you'd want to join.
Yeah.
Aliens.
Like, okay,
clearly.
did you see the house that they were living in? Did you see like pictures of it? or anything?
a little
It
bit.
was nice, like from the outside at least. It was
I only
huge.
saw what they were like when they were killed. Or like when they committed suicide.
Yeah,
Like,
I heard that was a rental too, which is kind of messed up.
Yeah.
They paid
they were
$7,000.
renting it.
Yeah.
But like it was so nice, and in this like nice, quiet little neighborhood. It was fucking like
In where? San Fran or
Yeah.
San Diego?
Oh
Oh yeah, San Diego.
yeah, San Diego.
So with these rules, did they have to stay sober?
Probably.
Probably.
No, well they washed down the
Yeah.
barbitol with vodka.
I feel like that
true.
was like a way to make them feel like, whoa, we're getting loopy.
We'll never know, but
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It didn't really specify, but I would, and I mean, I would think
Because they didn't have sex, like you said.
right.
They even like would castrate themselves, which yikes.
I know, right?
And then they didn't have like any sense of style either. It was always like the same haircuts and
I
everything.
refuse to. I agree to disagree. Those Nikes were fucking sick, and if I could get my hands on a pair right now,
They're
I'd
super
pay all the
expensive.
money. Yeah.
I guess they didn't have no style. But
No,
they
I mean,
Not
have
an
a unique
individual sense of style.
no
No.
unique style. But
it was the uniform
Yeah, it was a pretty good uniform
that
but
I
it
would
was a
be a
uniform.
part of.
We should be there for Halloween.
Is that disrespectful?
Probably.
I mean, I feel like they
Most
did
people
it because
probably
they
wouldn't
wanted
know, and then you would have to explain it,
Yeah.
and then it would be
That
like,
seems like a Halloween
Yeah.
costume
Yikes.
somebody that like works at Urban Outfitters would wear.
yeah, that's true. You're like, oh, I'm one of the members of.
to. One of us is gonna have to change.
So that would be kind of weird. But you know, it is what it is.
There was a quote from one of the cult members. Her name was Leanne Wolf, and she was like joking. Or I guess they were all joking about how they're like the cult of all cults and stuff. Like they kind of openly referred to it as like a group or a cult. Like they knew the stigma behind it. You know what I mean? And they just kind of laughed about it, which I think is kind of funny. Because typically, cults want to keep it like hidden that they're a cult, right? Like,
Right.
Like no, this isn't a pyramid scheme.
No,
It's-
this is cool. And they're like, yeah, we're a cult, and we're goddamn good at it.
But yeah, and like the rules went even deeper. Like you couldn't like shave up, you know what I mean? You had to shave down, kind of stuff. And this is coming from one of the cult members, like one of the 3 that are still alive. And like he was saying, like the pancakes had to be like one size. Like you couldn't be like, I want more pancake today.
Right.
It was like you. But I feel like that was to reserve for everybody.
Yeah.
In a
Well,
sense.
but like, have you guys ever made a really cute baby pancake?
Yeah.
I
Only
always
if I-
make one every time I make
They're
pancakes.
called
Only if
silver
I-
dollars.
Yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
baby pancake.
I only do that if I have like a little bit of extra batter afterward. And I'm like, well, you know. I'll
Yeah, but what
pour
if you
one for
couldn't
the
do that?
homies.
That'd be so sad. Like, I want my baby pancake. Anyway, it doesn't matter, but...
You could have 2 big pancakes or 48 little ones. You
Well,
pick.
it's like, anyways, I'm not
One
gonna go
little
into
one.
this. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like with hamburgers, you can get a hamburger or like 5 sliders. Like, now we're on.
I feel like all food is going to break down like that, you know, probably.
Either potato, french fries. No, just kidding.
I
Sorry.
was gonna say that the waiter of the Heaven's Gates Last Supper, he said they all ordered turkey pot pie and I think unsweetened tea, which is like
Pretty boring, dude.
yeah.
I like unsweet tea. Fuck yeah.
Unsweet tea's fine, but for everyone, like let them have a little bit of flavor.
Okay.
Turkey pot pie is also the worst kind of pot pie.
I was gonna say.
So,
It's like the most boring in my opinion.
yeah.
Why turkey? Why not
And
just
then
have a chicken pot pie
that
like
waiter-
everybody else?
Was interviewed about it, and he said they were all very happy.
And polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if I went to like a dinner and somebody just like gave me dinner, like I didn't have to pick it all, and I got a turkey pot pie and unsweet tea, I'd be like, all right,
Oh yeah.
this is fine.
You know, I mean, compared to what I eat now, like Pringles for dinner, hell yeah. But, I mean, I'm sure they didn't eat Pringles for... I don't know, maybe they didn't even eat.
Well, one of the members went home one time because like they'd never allowed people to leave. But
Right.
they kind of started giving some leeway towards the end, and one of the guys, he was one of the young ones. Like I think he was 19 when he joined. He went home and his mom was like, kind of like, whoa, like why are you so pale and skinny? And I guess they were fasting at one point, and he was one of the ones that couldn't leave, so that's why he was so pale.
Gotcha.
And maybe he was one of the ones that never went outside. And that's why he was pale.
Maybe it was just genetics. I mean, some people are just pale.
I know. Take a look at yourself, Mama Bear. And then tell me why I'm pale and
And then I realized he never came home. I was talking to a mirror.
The next notes I have are just about the suicide, so if we want to move.
Well, same. Oh, wait, no, actually.
Okay. You got more to say?
No. There's probably things I've already said. I haven't even looked at the notes.
Yeah.
This is all going to be cut out, right?
Well, I guess this is like I mean, they were in the media before, but this is like the thing that I guess everybody kind of knows about them is the mass suicide, although they would probably call it a mass willful exit from the body in a dignified manner, but...
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a suicide.
I actually do remember one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, he would make these crazy tapes, right?
Uh-huh.
And it would just be him, like, usually with, like, some trippy stuff going on in the background. Like, sometimes there was, like, a camera looking at a camera. It had, like, the mirror effect, right, where it just keeps going. And it's just him, like, rambling on about all, like, the stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess, there was one of the... I think it was actually when T died, the daughter did not know for, like, an entire year.
Oh.
And, like, she was trying to reach out to her and be like, hey, help me, I want to talk to you, and if not, that's okay, I just want to hear from you. But they kept it from her for a year. And I guess they sent 2 people to go to the dorm room and, like, find her, and then they told her, and she just kind of, like, really broke down, and they're like, oh, we'll be here, you know, as long as you need us. She woke up, and they were totally gone. So...
Their spacecraft arrived.
Yeah. Like, we gotta go, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You took too long, honey. Oh, that's pretty fucked.
Yeah, that is pretty fucked, I agree.
Random
like-
thing I remembered, I guess.
Yeah, she was probably, like, expecting people to be there for her when she woke up, and then she was just... Oh,
Just alone.
was that even real? Was it a dream?
Who knows?
She may never know.
But yeah, then it all comes to a end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you guys know what year?
1997.
Ooh, jinx.
Hey.
You owe me a wine.
Oh, so this happened in March of 1997, which is the same time my sister was born, so...
Oh my god.
Hey.
Happy birthday, Kayla. It was actually just a couple days before her birthday. That's super weird.
Ew.
Yikes.
Yeah, right?
Reincarnated as.
Whoa.
Thanks. I don't want to think about that. But they believed that this was the only way to evacuate their bodies because they thought there was a spacecraft trailing the Hale-Bopp comet.
Hale-Bopp.
And they were like, we gotta get on that spacecraft, guys. Like, it's the only way.
Well, naturally, I mean, I'm sad we missed it, honestly. Like,
I know.
Honestly, yeah. Where
I was
the
too
fuck
busy
that?
because my sister was just born, so I was, like, preoccupied.
We were all learning to walk, wearing diapers,
We were super busy.
doing our damn thing to do our best.
when it was first reported, they thought it was all dudes because of the haircuts. Mm-hmm. Which is, you know, kind of ironic because they were trying to get rid of gender in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
It's true.
A little rude media.
I know, for real. But it was 1997. They didn't really...
That's true.
They were a little
Didn't have
behind,
fashion,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Style,
Things were different.
haircuts.
You know, it's fine.
But it was actually, like, pretty 50-50, you know, in gender-wise. They really just... It was a collective of all kinds of people. It really wasn't, like, a specific... and I guess they would take turns and, I guess, committing suicide. The first wave was 15 people.
Yeah.
And they would
that was
drink
really interesting.
vodka and eat, like, laced applesauce. Do you know
Phenobarbital mixed with applesauce.
what is that?
It is epilepsy medicine.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you can give it to... I mean, you can give it to little kids in obviously smaller doses. But yeah, it's an epilepsy medicine and it's a depressant. So they drink alcohol. Alcohol intensifies the effects of it, which it does with most
That's why it says don't drink on
medications?
the bottle. Probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, most medications are the same way, but they're both a depressant, so they took probably a bunch of this medicine mixed with applesauce, which is, like, kind of random, but I guess.
I wonder if it was the cinnamon kind.
And then, well, usually you have to add your own cinnamon. But and then they put bags over their heads
To suffocate.
Yeah, induce.
They were purple. They were kind of pretty.
Well, it was a beautiful time.
Yeah.
After Hale-Bopp.
That had to have meant something. Like, I feel like this is not the kind of thing that's like, oh, well, look at the purple ones because they're on sale or whatever.
I agree.
You know,
I mean,
it
everything
hadn't
was
meant
so
something.
like. I mean, the fact that they were all like same haircut, same clothes, it's down
Considering
to
they
the
only
shoe.
had $5 and how many quarters on them?
It's true.
It might have been on sale.
Well, the purple is a little cheaper.
Maybe they. Oh, I was gonna say maybe they ordered them online, but could you do that in 1997?
Good question.
I don't know.
Well, they
We
probably
were-
made the website, so they had the hookup.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
We didn't have that
They
at
were-
1997. Us three at least.
Yeah.
They were the original Squarespace.
Yeah.
Beat them to the punch.
Oh, wow.
Thank God that
Squarespace is going to come out and be like, okay, guys, listen. There's a comet. Like, come on.
Think about if they were like still around. Like
That'd be so crazy.
people our age would be like, oh my God, I'm a part of this because I mean me, but like
People our age. Annie.
I would sit you down and have a talk. And be like,
I'd be
listen,
gone.
listen.
Listen here, Kelsey. I would like to live in a $7,000 a month mansion.
I'd be like, girl, that haircut is not working for you. We need to change this up a little bit. I'm
I'm a
sorry.
hairstylist. I
Get
would
bangs
make
in
it
the
work.
front and the back.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes, but they put a bag over their head, and then they were all dressed in identical black sweatpants and black shirts with Nike, brand new black and white Nike Decades.
Dope.
They were some
Bone apple
really
10 out of 10.
cool looking shoes, and Nike discontinued them because, I mean, it makes sense, but also, like,
Well, now it's like,
their sales
a
could have just gone
collectible.
through the roof.
Yeah.
Like, I would buy them.
Novelty item. Yeah.
but yeah, so they'd go in waves. So it was like 15, and then 15, and then like 7, and then I think the final 2. So I guess the final 2 did not have the bags over their heads.
Yeah,
Right,
because
yes.
obviously...
Which
Whoa.
is, and they had the money in their pockets when they left too. Like,
Yeah, $5 bill and 3/4.
you got to tip
Only
your Uber
3.
driver, you know. It's
Yeah,
like-
of course. You gotta pay to get on the UFO, I guess, or just in case. It's good to be prepared.
True.
Did you guys read that Among the Dead was Thomas Nichols, whose sister was on the original Star Trek?
Oh, full circle, dude.
Interesting, because they were all, like, really into Star Trek.
Yeah.
Beam me up to the clouds, Scotty.
And I'm wondering if, I think it's, Nichelle Nichols is the sister that was on Star Trek.
Okay.
Like, how she feels about that. Like, when she was like,
Yeah.
what did I do? Like, shit.
I would probably feel guilty if it was
I
me.
would probably feel guilty, yeah. Don't feel guilty, girl.
You're fine.
We support you.
Me personally.
Yeah, we probably would have felt a little guilty, but...
They also had armbands that said Heaven's Gate Away Team.
Dude, the patches kind of look sick. I would put it on my
Right?
backpack if I could find
Do you
it.
think we could get one of those to put on our denim vests?
Hell yeah! I'm telling you, Halloween.
We should go.
I'm just saying.
I'm in. I don't have a denim vest, but I can find the sweatpants and the Nikes.
Oh yeah, let's just do that. Let's just us three, and then like turn the purple cover-ups into capes instead.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. I
Just
like
get
that.
little patches.
Yeah, we could be.
So down.
We instead of being disrespectful, the cape makes it in remembrance because they
Yeah.
were
Exactly.
superheroes.
Because you use the cape to, like, fly into the...
Incredibles taught me that it's not a good idea.
Okay,
actually.
yeah, you're right, you're right.
We don't need that.
But no,
Right on
yes.
our parade.
So yeah, Heaven's Gate, dude. It's crazy.
It's
Yeah.
pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
Honestly, fucking cool. I'm just.
I really dig cults. I don't know why. Like
Yeah.
I every
There's
time I
something
watch
about
one,
it.
there's a part of me that is like, I would totally live that way for a little bit.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just to infiltrate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then do a TED Talk on it later.
Yeah, yeah. I
Jonestown.
was. Is there a TED Talk on Jonestown?
Somebody from Jonestown, I think.
Oh, I
Whoa.
haven't actually seen
I
that.
think.
I have seen, there's a girl that came from the Westboro Baptist Church, though.
I've seen that
did a
one,
TED
yeah,
Talk.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty good.
Same.
Yeah.
Man. It's just the killing yourself thing that gets me, and
Yeah.
the when it has too much rules, then I'm like, all right, now you're getting weird. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to.
I don't
And this one,
actually
it
know
kind
what
of
to
made
do.
sense because they didn't want to be human. Like they wanted to be as far as from humans as possible. I feel
Yeah,
like.
because they thought their body was just like a
Holding them back.
vessel or
Yeah.
Hold me back, body.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of them maybe had like some sort of mental instability, but like I feel like
39 of them. Just kidding.
there has to be like a point in your mind where you're just like, I mean, like I guess it makes sense. Like to me, I know I'm joking when I say I would be a part of this. It doesn't make sense to me,
Right.
As to how you could be so turned into something.
Yeah.
Well, I kind
I
of
don't
have a
know how
problem
that
with like
happens.
if someone tells me to do something, I'm usually like, no, like I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
You know, even
Yeah.
if it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So as soon as someone is like, this is how you have to live, I would just do the opposite.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I would actually.
Luckily, we all have a problem with authority as millennials, so.
Well, this was 1997. So.
Yeah, I think that's one of the weirdest things, like, that I can't wrap my head around, because,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I kind of like who I am as an individual, and I wouldn't want to just be like, oh, yes, okay, I'll just be a clean slate, just, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not down for that.
Yeah.
It's interesting how happy all of them were about it, though. Like, they were like, hell yeah, dude, we're about to blast off.
There was a video that I definitely didn't watch all of because it was like an hour and a half long, but they filmed each member like the day before the suicides.
Oh.
And they were all like sitting in a circle going around talking, and I was just kind of like skipping through the video, but every single person was like, I'm just so happy that I'm here and that I've found this, and like everybody was just super calm and just like, this is wonderful, I'm very happy, let's do this. And I'm like, it's so creepy.
Yeah.
It was weird. And they all had some really great 90s outfits, but like, yeah, they all had the same, like, the haircuts, and it was like super weird. I watched a video of when the news was going into the house, and they were like filming all the people laying in bed, which when they were found, they were all like laying neatly in bunk beds. Just really creepy.
But it was so peaceful, like, weirdly.
And they had, I don't know if we said this already, but they had big purple cloths covering their face and, like, torso. So they were just laying in bed like that. People that were wearing glasses when they were showing around, if they had glasses, they took off their glasses and set them, like, next to the body. It was really strange.
Don't forget these when you come back.
And I saw one, and I was like, oh, okay, so someone did that. And then after 3 or 4, I'm like, oh, this is, like,
It's a trend. Huh.
thing. Weird. I wonder why.
We're not going to the next level with our glasses, I guess.
I mean, I guess if you're going...
Really can't see shit in space.
I would hope that in the afterlife, my vision is perfect. It
better
be.
When I was saying, like, I kind of, like, sympathize, like, I kind of, like, started to see where they were coming from, I don't think it was necessarily about, like, a UFO. I think that in, at least in Doe's mind, like, the leader, I think he was, like, trying to, like, align the stars in a way. Like, he was, like... It's got to be at this time with this comment, because I feel like he was into, like, that zodiac shit.
I'm sure.
Well, with the 3 days thing, I feel like it was like, it's only at the right time, this time of day, this time of day.
Yeah,
this time of
probably.
day. Yeah, with this many people, this many people, this many people. It's just so weird. It throws me off that it was 15, and then, like, 9
I feel like the last time, like, dude, we should have gone in the middle.
We missed our bus. Like,
They're going to get the best seats.
I know. Well, weren't there people... that survived that were, like, supposed to survive, like, to tell the story?
Yeah, there was one guy... Oh, shit, what was his
Well, there's
name?
still people running the website.
Yeah.
Is it this
You
person?
can email the website and people will respond.
Yeah. Oh, I almost
Why
did.
didn't you tell me this at the beginning? I would not be here right now.
I saw it. It was like, email us, and then the email address, and I was like, what would I even say?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Set up an interview with you or something?
Yeah, is it kind of hard to get into? You have to be, like, you have to have certain...
I'm sure a lot of
ways.
people have researched it.
I feel like I read somewhere.
Maybe, I'm sure. But, I don't know, it's just... I mean, I guess it's a good thing that I can't really, like, understand why somebody would join a cult, but... I don't know. How do you not... I guess my thing is...
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say, Moose?
No, he's just... antsy.
Okay.
Got somewhere to be.
I just can't imagine, like, hearing somebody speak and having them basically be like, here's my new religion, come follow me, and me being like, yes, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I will absolutely do that 100%.
Okay.
That's
we
just
have to,
crazy.
We have to give up everything and cut our hair? Sure.
Do you want me to cut my balls off? Okay, I'll do that too. Sure. Whatever you want, man. I'll do it.
As long as I get that spaceship.
Yeah,
ride
that's
to
just...
heaven,
I don't know.
They made it seem so perfect after this would happen. And that's what got people.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that people are, like, afraid of death and afraid of what's going to happen afterwards, but I just...
And maybe doing it with other people makes you feel a little better about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of is comforting.
But, like... Shit, that's crazy.
I don't know, y'all.
So, I don't know. But that's Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
For the most part.
It's a lot of information that we honestly did not even cover all of it, but there's so much to it.
I'm sure there's all kinds of little
There's a ton of details, and you can find a ton of documentaries on it. But these are like the things that are like the most important. I feel like these are like the things that were most interesting to me, and I'm sure to you guys as well. Because there is a lot. Like this could be like a 6-parter if we wanted it to.
Yeah,
does not need to be.
I was gonna try to find a book about it because I just. Books are a good ways to learn, kids, so read your books. But there was one that I found, but one of the comments was like, this is not light reading. This is like college textbook research level. And I was like, well, I'm not ready for that.
Interesting.
So maybe one day, but no. This was like 3 days ago also. So I was like, maybe I'll just find like a, like a true crime kind of read or whatever. And nope.
Just skim it, you can get through it.
Wasn't going to happen, so.
I found something on motherboard.vice.com.
Motherboard.
By all accounts, the administrators behind heavensgate.com are a couple named Mark and Sarah King. Though they would not confirm their identity when I emailed this week via email, the couple told me they were entrusted with this task after being members of the group for 12 years. They have regular full-time jobs outside of tending the site, but take their duties seriously. They answer any questions within a day or so and make sure the site crammed with information about the cult's belief and with a strikingly 90s aesthetic ticking along exactly as it was in March 1997.
Whoa.
Pretty lit.
I like that they kept it the same.
I know. That's so cool.
It does. Nice. It looks really pleasing. Like, it's nice on the eyes.
It's all coming back full circle. So, to our eyes, it's like brand new.
Yeah.
Today's episode was brought to you by this true crime fun fact.
In October of 1996, the group purchased alien abduction insurance. I don't know what that covers.
I actually have it, so I'll just let you know.
Okay, good.
In a quick
Did you
email.
get that at Geico? Or is that like
So,
you're at Geico.
So that's a pretty fun fact.
That is cool.
Right? I was like,
Interesting.
I wonder, like, who sold that to them? How did they find it?
Some guys
yeah,
like,
was
hey,
some
you
guy
need
like,
alien shirts?
hey, so I heard you guys are, interested in some alien insurance. But I wonder.
I can register your UFO, it's fine.
If you can prove you were abducted by aliens and returned to Earth, Geico Insurance. Oh, wait, no.
Really?
Mind.
Oh, my God.
I was like, what?
No, they misled me real quick. No, but there is alien abduction insurance if you can prove.
Wow.
One English company has sold over 30,000 policies. So that's more than 39 people.
30,000?
Some companies offer policies for alien pregnancy. Listen, we talked about Mary and Joseph already.
I wonder how many people have claimed that.
Doesn't say.
Richard, it was an alien, I swear. I was driving home.
Or you're like, telling your mom, and you're like, Mom, it was an alien. I promise.
There's a flashlight. Next thing I know.
I'm 7 months pregnant. Surprise! Is that it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Boom. You guys want to tell them where they can find us and about the Instagram thing and all that?
So you can find us in Alabama. We live there.
Always and forever. I love my Alabama Nights. I'm an Alabama Nights.
Alabama nights.
I don't know anything about Alabama, but...
I don't either.
Homegirl.
I probably
Go
couldn't point it out
Alabama
on
State.
a map, to be completely honest with you.
Neither.
Where is Alabama?
If it's labeled, I'll point it out.
We also have an Instagram account. It is truecrimeandcheapwine, right? Yeah.
On Instagram.
Sure, she is.
If you want to send us an email, if you have a true crime situation you'd like us to talk about, or a cheap wine recommendation, or a really cool true crime fun fact that you would like to send us.
Or if you just want to talk.
Yeah, if we just want to hang out.
I'm extremely lonely.
We're not busy ever, so you can send us an email at truecrimeandcheapwine@gmail.com. So thanks for listening. God damn it! Jesus Christ.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Tune in next time and we talk about something scary and murder related, probably.
Else.
We're gonna talk about something else. This has been True Crime and Cheap Wine. Just remember to keep your eyes open and your glasses full.
Wow!